Hey, what's up, fam? Today we're gonna make some absolutely delicious green beans and potatoes. Now I know we want to complete that holiday spread, and those green beans and potatoes will sit nicely on your dinner table, fam. So without further ado, hey, let's go down and I'm gonna show you how to make this easy recipe. You can go two ways. You can go with some canned green beans or you can go with the fresh ones. Today I got some fresh ones, but let's go down to this workstation. Let me show you what I'm working with. Hey, I'm working with 2 pounds of green beans. Right now, what you can do is you can keep these whole. However, for me, hey, it's gonna be simple. So what you want to do, hey, you want to snap these into the size that you want to have these green beans. Now if you got your green beans and they had a little piece on the end, all you got to do is snap that piece off both ends and then just snap them like that, fam. So simple, so easy. Like I said, fresh ingredients is always the way to go. If you can, if you're in a rush, hey, you can make these from canned green beans. And like I said, you got a big one like that, hey, you can pretty much go 3 pieces like that and you'll be in the game. Now if you got a piece like this, and this is what I was talking about earlier, this little end right here, you want to pinch that end off and then you just want to discard that and then you just snap your green beans like that, fam. You in the game. And fam, don't be talking about my hands, man. I know they ashy, but they clean. So I would rather have clean hands, right, than, you know what I'm saying, have hands that got lotion all on them and then they going into your food, right? So hey, ashy hands, as long as they clean, and then you know we working with some clean food, right? We in the game. Hey, make sure that you are rinsing these off, right? You want to make sure that these are nice and clean and you don't know what, you know, who's handled it before you and what's been done with them. So you want to make sure that safety is always key anytime that you're cooking like any recipe. So take the precautions. I know some people think it may be overboard, but you can't be cautious enough when it's something that you're digesting, right? Now, just like your green beans, hey, you want to make sure that you are washing and rinsing these potatoes off. And we're going to get these cut. Now, you can cut them, you know what I'm saying, to your preference. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these in half like so. Now, let me tell you this, if you keep them whole, and I wouldn't recommend that, but you can, it's going to take a little bit longer to cook. If you cut them in fourths, it's going to take a little less to cook. So depending on how big or small that you cut them, that's how fast they're going to cook. So if you cut them in fourths, my recommendation would be let these cook about at the end of the recipe. But if you're going to put them in halves, then you can put this in at the beginning of the recipe. And definitely if you're going to make them whole, then it's going to make your recipe, you know, a little bit longer. Now for this big one right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one in half and then I'm going to cut it in half one more time. So again, it's in like sizes of my other potatoes and we'll be in the game, fam. I got me an onion. I'm just going to chop this. I'm saying just a little rough chop, and you can chop these however you like, sizes that you like. You'll be in the game. I'm gonna start off with a little bit of olive oil and butter in this pot. Now I got me some thick cut bacon and I'm gonna cut these in to like inch pieces. And fam, I know you're probably gonna say, hey, you know, this bacon is gonna render its own fat. And yes, that is true, but also too, because I'm working with stainless steel, hey, this will help it from not, you know, initially sticking to the bottom of this this pot, and it'll let me be able to move this around freely. As we get halfway through cooking this bacon, hey, we're gonna add in our onion. How it should be smelling absolutely delicious at this time. And we're gonna let these onions sweat down, and then you see we got a little fun coming on the bottom of this pan, some flavor. Hey, we in the game, fam. And I'm working over like a medium high heat at the moment. Now when you got your bacon brown to your liking, and you don't want to take these so crisp, get you a nice little brown on them, right? Hey, you'll be in the game. Now what I want to do is I want to add me a little bit of garlic in. You already know we got to bring everybody to the kitchen. Once we get that garlic smelling fragrant, and then they gonna ask what you're making, and I'm gonna say some delicious green beans and potatoes. That's not gonna take long to get fragrant, about a minute or so. And we don't want to burn that garlic, so what we want to do is we want to add in our potatoes, and I'm gonna add in some salt and pepper, and then I'm also gonna hit it with some Cajun seasoning. You can use Creole seasoning if you like, and then I'm just gonna get everything tossed just for like a minute or so. Now everything is smelling absolutely delicious, fam. We got everything tossed, and we're gonna add in our green beans. We want to add in our chicken broth, and I'm going with some low sodium chicken broth, and it's a reason why I'm gonna do that. So now what we want to do is we want to make sure that everything is submerged. Now you can add more water until you submerge these green beans. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add me a little bit more chicken broth to the party. So that's about 32 ounces, then half of the 16 ounces. And then now we're gonna bring this up to a boil. But before I do, what I'm gonna do, it's like I said, I wanted to control my salt, but I'm also gonna flavor it up. Now I'm gonna add me a teaspoon of better than bouillon into this pot here. Now we're gonna put a top on this. We're gonna let this come up to a boil, and then we're gonna let it simmer for about 20 minutes, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna mix everything up, and then we're gonna let it go for about 20 minutes or until everything gets nice and tender inside. All right, fam. Hey, it's been about 10 minutes, and now we got this up to a boil. Now what we want to do is we want to reduce this to a simmer. And also at this time, what we want to do is we want to get everything rotated. Hey, but your house should be smelling absolutely delicious at this time. And if your fam haven't come out yet, they should be rushing out and asking you, hey, what you making? And you're gonna say some delicious green beans and potatoes, fam. So we're gonna let this simmer. We're gonna put that top back on, and we'll see you guys when everything becomes fork tender. All right, fam. Hey, this has been going for about 20 minutes. And now it's time to check and see where you are. So we're gonna get in here and find one of those potatoes. And yes, sir, those are fork tender. Yes, sir, we're in the game. We are in the game. Now it's time to get you some of those absolutely delicious green beans and potatoes. Now, fam, what I'm gonna tell you is let your fam, you know what I'm saying, salt and pepper to taste. Hey, look at that right there. Hey, that's a nice flavorful pot. Look at that juice right there. Oh, yes, sir. Hey, fam, we in the game. Is I'm gonna hit it with just a little pinch of salt, not much. Like I said, you can let your fam salt and pepper to taste, and you know I gotta hit it with some of that pepper over those potatoes because I can't leave them plain, right? And yes, sir, get that plate seasoned up. I'm gonna move this around just a little bit so I can get that. Yeah, that's what we're talking about right there. And then, fam, hey, you got you some absolutely delicious green beans and potatoes, fam. Hey, you already know. Hey, we got to go in. We got to get us a little taste test. Get you a little bit of that bacon on there. Hey, yes, sir. Cheers, fam. Now that right there, That is absolutely delicious. And then I can go and tell my doctor, hey, I got me some greens on that plate. Yes, sir. You in the game.